broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah, we can. Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to another edition of our Face-Off wrap-up show for Season 8, Episode 10, Super Selfies. If you've not done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Also, be sure to check us out on SoundCloud and on iTunes as well. And be sure to tweet us. We love hearing from you guys. Use the hashtag ABTVFaceoff so we can check out all your comments. I am your host, Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan. And today I am joined by the super amazing co-host. Yes. It's like you're flying.
I am. I'm Aaron, and you can find me on Twitter at AAMOmusic.
I'm Emma Fyffe, and you can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe.
And I'm Alexis Torres. You can find me on Twitter at atorres890.
So I have to say, starting off, I love the concept of this episode. I love all things superhero, as you can probably imagine. Also, shout out to our fans for making this. You guys are amazing.
Yeah, in case any of you forgot, we already have been made into superheroes
yes,
prior to this challenge.
We feel like our fans basically are psychic. That's their superpower. They knew this was going to happen psychically. We love you, man.
I also want to point out my epic super side part.
Every time.
I love that side part.
I also, not to get too off track here, but when I initially saw the title of this episode, which was Super Selfies, as previously mentioned by Elena, I was like, what on earth is that episode going to be about? Is it just going to be them, like, taking selfies or, like, modeling, like, Kim Kardashian models who are, like, selfie obsessed? Like, the super part didn't really factor in for me. Like,
I had no idea what it was going to be.
I thought it was they were going to turn their models into them.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense than what I was thinking.
You know what? I would love to see a face-off episode where they, like, transform themselves into, like, maybe celebrities like Kim Kardashian. I would love to see some of their takes on that.
Logan, you should get on that.
And then Kevin's one of the guest judges, and she's like, I don't think that looks like me.
And Courtney, she's like, I think that this is just so dumb.
We've gone off the rails entirely. Sorry. I love the concept of this episode. Love superheroes. Love their guests because love me some Spawn. Mm-hmm. But I do have to say, I had more issues, I think, with this episode than many others from the very beginning, because Mackenzie starts it by saying, first of all, she looked flawless, so I do have to always.
You know what?
Needless to say,
I'm done with this flawlessness. Her zipper was showing.
Oh,
I'm gonna do it.
Was it?
I'm gonna say it was.
It
was a little tiny one right here.
Yeah, there was a little zipper on the front of the dress, but you know, and I did sort of notice that too. But I have to say, the color of the dress totally was amazing.
But her stylist should be fired.
Her stylist is amazing and should live in my house and just help me out.
Yes.
But I had a problem with them saying, this is so unlike anything that we've done before, because first of all, they always say that. Second of all, this could be the most daunting task. They have to do makeup on themselves. This is such a unique thing. They did that season 1.
Yeah.
The very first season, episode 7, Family Plot was the one that they did. They had to put makeup on themselves to the point that they were unrecognizable to their relatives.
Yeah, that was
that to me is significantly more daunting.
Agree.
Yeah.
No, I remember that challenge, and
fictionalizing.
I completely agree with you. Like, this, you were creating a completely new character, a superhero nonetheless, so, like, sky's the limit, doesn't have to look like anything realistic. And with the challenge in season 1, they had to make themselves into like an unrecognizable person, not, you know what I feel like this was so much more of a broad, fun challenge, and that was like, this is serious.
I feel like a lot of times they'll say things for newer viewers. Like this is the best episode that we've had. But I feel like that almost detracts from the amazing talent that they've had throughout the years.
Yeah, I agree.
That's part of what makes this show so phenomenal, is that they consistently deliver phenomenal makeup artists seasons to season, and challenges that just blow you out of the water every single time. So to say this is unlike anything that we've done before, I feel is almost discrediting the people in season 1. But
the other thing is, too, when they talk about it being a daunting task, specifically because they have to do makeup on themselves, I mean, I may be wrong, but pretty much every makeup artist I know had to spend a fair amount of time practicing on their own face.
I agree. Yeah.
So,
well, I just think about Kaylin from last season, and every single one of her pictures on Instagram is her doing some amazing makeup on herself because she's bored.
Right.
So I'm like, I feel like these makeup artists are talented enough that while this is a difficult challenge, which is why it's called a challenge.
Yep. You hit it right on the nose.
Just say this is the most daunting thing we've ever done. I'm like, all right, let's calm down a little bit.
Yeah, let's maybe dial it back. Like this is challenging and interesting, and it's different than doing makeup on the models. And yeah, you're gonna end up having the help of somebody else who's not you applying the makeup because you can't do it all yourself. But most daunting task ever? Probably not.
That being said, I think everybody this challenge really stepped up their game and did really cool looks. Some of them, as we've said, not really fitting for the actual challenge.
Yeah.
But everyone made something that I would want to see in a movie. So good on you guys. This was... You guys did a very good job for the most daunting task that has ever been done in the history of Face Off. I don't know why that was my Mackenzie voice. It sounds
it was
nothing like that.
Exorcist.
It was very Exorcist.
Your mother's inheritance, Harris.
All right. So let's start with some of the looks that were safe this week. Ben was safe. This one was super cool. I thought this should have been a top look.
I completely agree. Especially because Aaron and I were talking about this when we were watching the show earlier. Like, obviously, like, the camo military thing, not so much, but, like, the face and the overall sort of concept of the makeup of this kind of zombie anti-hero / villainous sort of kind of guy is very Spawn.
Yeah.
And to me, I mean, like, if this is very much like the kind of stuff that Todd McFarlane creates for his own universe. And on top of that, not only was it a cool concept, but the execution on this was incredible. He vacuum formed that mask piece, and he had the gas mask, and the range of motion in the face was incredible. Just the sheer amount of expressions he could get just absolutely blew my mind. I loved this.
I thought this look was... I also love that they had that extra element when they're showing his face and just like the gross goo comes out. And anytime that there's some sort of added visual element like that, I just have to say, it just, because it stops you and you go, whoa, what is happening? What is this character doing? This is amazing. And you have to say it in that voice.
I was gonna say, I'm like, Elaine,
There's a lot of voices
you're
coming
just
out of
on. You were just hitting it. I love it.
Super voices, why not? But yeah, I love this. It's this post-apocalyptic superhero that has such depth to it that you can tell that it's not just a surface level character. It's one that you see and you go, okay, there's a backstory here. I want to know it.
Yeah.
Well, and I also like that Ben tried to incorporate some of his own personal backstory into it, much in the way that Logan did with his in incorporating his military background.
I feel like really the best looks to me were the ones that incorporated a lot of the artist's own personality.
Totally.
And so I do agree with who they picked for top looks, but I feel like this one should have also been a top look because it did such a great job of physically embodying the personality of the person who's wearing the look. And if you're gonna have the whole challenge, the daunting challenge of super selfies, then it needs to reflect an element of self. And so I feel like this one all of my criteria, check, check, check. top looks.
I agree. And the other thing is too, you know, talking about incorporating some of your backstory, like you look at this makeup and I think you don't immediately go, oh, that's a hero. Like he's got black goo coming out of his mouth and creepy teeth and like zombie eyes. Like this is not really like a superhero. But because the makeup is so well executed and there is this interesting concept behind it, I want to know about this guy. And I like want to know what he's about. And yeah, just really good job, Ben. I really, really enjoyed this makeup.
I love it. You can't even tell that it's Ben underneath
No, I know.
That's the cool part about that.
It's so awesome. Not that we don't like you and the way that you look, but this is amazing.
I'm so happy we can't tell it's Ben.
Aaron did point out earlier when we were watching too that like, you know how they do the like transformation headshots, and in Ben's they clearly forced him to smile and he looked so uncomfortable.
No offense, Ben, but that was a pretty forced smile. Or like when he made the joke and he was like, haha.
No, that's right, about the wig cap.
Yeah.
Because he's like, all right, it's time for me to go put on a ball cap now. Just kidding.
It was just like silence. Okay, Ben.
Aw. Well, Julian was also safe this week as well. I actually like this one. I don't think this is his best work.
No, definitely not.
And I know he's not a big fan of it, but I feel like I mean, I still liked it. It still looked like something that I would see in a movie. And that's because I have my main criteria, which Face Off, the judges don't care about. The cinematic quality of it, I could see this in a next Sin City movie. And have that.
Or even Hellboy, I felt like.
Hellboy.
Yeah.
I think that this is definitely one that would read well on film, that would look like a character. Whereas, I will say though, Ben's character, that's a lead. You want to know everything.
Yeah.
This is a side character that is part of an ensemble, is the way that I see it.
Yeah, like I can see like a bunch of these guys, like as like an army or a clone army or something like that, not to do Star Wars or anything.
Aaron,
but,
do you really hate it or anything? Cause
I'm like whatever about it. I think it is definitely a side. I definitely think it's a side
Rein
character.
in the passion.
Come on, Aaron.
No, I just feel like it's like one of those people that's gonna be on the side that's like yeah, or like screaming, and then the camera immediately shifts like after 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's like a henchman.
Yeah,
It's
like he's just in the background like yeah, and then that's it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he's
That's
like
terrible, but
yeah, he's like a henchman, or like if he's a bad guy, he gets killed off in like the first 20 minutes. And like
I see him as I see him as being around, but I see him as being kind of the side guy, the one of the two
side guys
that the main character has around. That really looks kind of villainous too. So I feel like he's buds with the main villain.
I know.
You know what also really bugs me about it? There's something about the structure of just the whole head. Like, I don't know. I just don't like how it's like this. I don't know. It's something.
For me, it feels like this guy's been sucking on a lemon all his life.
And I think,
I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. It's just because those puckered model lips for me just kind of like threw me out of it.
It kind of does look like Zoolander.
Yeah, like he's just like,
it's like the demon Zoolander.
I want him to be like, I can't shoot left.
Yeah.
That is.
It looks like it.
oh my god, it completely looks like Demon Zoolander.
I like supervillain supermodel, if that's what we're going for.
Like
now that we've established that, now I love it.
Like if we were just like at a hangout and they were just having like a catwalk off and he just jumped up there.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Wouldn't it be so fun to see them do a catwalk off in these outfits?
I think it would be great.
We're giving you brilliant ideas, Face Off. You should take them.
I hope Mackenzie's writing it down.
I know.
Oh my god.
I feel like Adam would have won for sure if they were doing
That's very true.
Given. Now, while I feel like Ben should have been top looks, I feel like this one should have been safe. Darla was safe.
Oh, really?
And this is when I have to say I vehemently disagree with the judges yet again. With Darla's look, if anybody is a Doctor Who fan, it 100% looks like the episode. It's one curly wig away from being the wind-up masquerade villains from Doctor Who.
Completely agree.
No, because you were talking to me about that before, and then literally as you were describing that, my brain like put it all together. As soon as you said curly wig, I was like, mind blown.
That's it.
Like Demon Zoolander and like Wind Up Masquerade minus the like George Washington wig.
The only thing that this picture is missing is the TARDIS in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
In fact, I would argue that the TARDIS in the background might improve this makeup because I think it is boring.
I feel like a TARDIS in the background will improve any situation, so that's just a given. But also, this makeup, it was really plain. I don't understand how this was safe, especially when the bottom looks, a lot of the feedback was, at this point in the game, you should be showing something new. Don't be repeating yourself.
She's skating by again. And I'm like, she hasn't done anything to prove that she should be here.
Well, it blows my mind because we were saying, up to this point, I haven't been impressed. Then she brought a look that I really liked. And I said, yes, we're going to see something new and different from Darla. And then it's like we went...
Yep. She went right back to Darla 1.0.
I mean, and I know that we were talking about how the judge was like, oh, I don't think your makeup fits. Like, not her, but who was it?
It was Emily. They said that Emily's look didn't fit the challenge. Yeah. This one does not fit the challenge.
I mean, basically what we're seeing here are the exact same criticisms that they had of Emily's makeup, which was a bottom look, where they're saying it's the same stuff you do every single week, and it doesn't look like a superhero. It doesn't fit this challenge. I think that the work on Emily's was better than this. The face on Darla's, and you can't really see it in the photo that we have because it's not a close-up on the face, it's bad.
It's terrible.
The chin is kind of fat, and like it just looks rough. Like the adhesion like between the chin and the neck just looks like a big old mess.
Yeah.
When you even like when it was like zoomed in and they were like showing her face, it looked like slimy almost.
Yeah.
I seriously feel like it's like Humpty Dumpty went to a masquerade ball. That's what it looks like.
I can see
I don't know.
that
because it is very egg-like.
It is.
It doesn't
The
have
color.
a lot of dimension. It doesn't have a lot of angles. It's all this one spherical look, and without anything to really break it up. It's got the mask, but that's the most basic element.
Exactly. And to me, like, this says superhero even less than what Emily did.
This doesn't read superhero to me at all. If somebody showed me this and said, what is this?
It's Humpty Dumpty's mom.
I mean,
I would say, I definitely wouldn't say superhero.
Humpty Dumpty's like ancestors.
Exactly. It's the goddess of the Humpty Dumpty universe.
It does. It looks very fairy tale and not superhero,
and
which
also,
are genre based, very different.
I feel like we can buy that mask at a store. Like I can go to Party City and be like, oh, this looks like something I could buy and just put a string on my face. Like I don't know. I feel like she needs to do better.
She looks good in that corset, but that's all I'm looking at is the corset. And I'm like, and then I look up at the face and I'm like, but this part, that's what you're being judged on. So
I agree. And like the corset is the only thing about this that's like remotely superhero. You know what I mean?
Not even to me.
Yeah, like it could have been
steampunk more than
it could have been if she went like sort of a like Valkyrie sort of route. You know what I mean? Like sort of doing the Thor thing, but you know.
I was just thinking, I'm like, why does she have a Catholic priest, like, you know, those smoke things? I was like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna?
It did seem like just a lot of costumes, props, and masks that somebody said, oh, well, I gotta grab something, so we'll just take these.
Yeah.
It's not a cohesive look to me. And that's what bothers me about it so much is because at this point in the competition, you should walk out on stage and the first thought should be, what is this movie that this is going to be from? What is the production that this is going to be in? What is this character going to say and do? Not, oh, that makeup is all right.
Yeah, and there's like no wow factor because sometimes when they come out, you're like, wow, that's awesome. I was like, oof, oh, girl, what are you doing?
See, even a wow that's terrible to me is better than a wow just non-existent.
Yeah.
Just a wow is better than a huh.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's all this is a huh.
Or just a really quiet like,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of confused. It's just kind of terrible.
It's boring to me. I think that the work on it was rough. I think that there were elements of both of the bottom looks that were superior to this one, and this was my least favorite.
I feel like this
week.
one should have gone home.
And
the fact that it wasn't even bottom looks really surprises me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip a table.
Not this one. We're sitting here.
I'm about to help you right now.
We're gonna flip another table. Wait until we're done.
This side of the table was on board with the flipping.
I mean, this side of the table has water, so we don't.
It's the sugary drinks, I tell you.
I mean, she's like really talented, but this is just like compared to the other ones, it's kind of like, wow, why did this one not go home?
Yeah,
I agree.
Because they were grilling into the other two so much, and it's like, okay.
And they were just kind of like, okay, just send her in the back. Like,
I will say though, I agree 100% with the top looks that they picked this week. Adam as Crimson Wave. My favorite moment of this entire episode was, but my favorite part of this entire episode was when V goes, "You've just been waiting to use that hair."
Yes. I'm sorry. I was going to say the exact same thing. Or my other favorite part of the episode was when Adam discovered how he was going to make his arm cannons. Because basically his concept for this hero is basically that he is a terrible superhero. Like,
he's the Wreck-It Ralph of this fictional.
Yeah, he is. He's basically, like, to me, he looks like a demon Power Ranger Mega Man. And, like, it's just amazing. But he made these awesome arm cannons because they were so essential to the character. And the way that he made them was literally they had like the empty buckets of, you know, the various kind of solutions and things that they have to pour the materials out of to mix up to create the prosthetic pieces and things. So he finds these empty buckets and he vacuum formed some like dinner plate serving dishes onto the top of them and then painted them. And they look incredible.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, and I said this when we were watching it, I want to take the garbage cans off of his hands and put Darla's makeup. But
I was so waiting for you to say that. I was like, if she doesn't say it, I'm
gonna. Yeah, I have to. I was watching it and I was like, oh, that's so cool. When you're done, I have some things that can go in that garbage bin.
I've been waiting for Adam to just take all of the red that you can think of and put it into one costume, and he didn't.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
And this is another thing. I think both of the top looks, part of the reason that I love them so much, not only were they complete characters, not only did they have that cinematic value, they had a logo. Mm-hmm. They had a superhero emblem, and the biggest superheroes have a logo. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have something that's super... there's something that super fans can tattoo on them. And I feel like somebody at some point is probably going to tattoo that logo on their body.
Yes.
And when they do, if they do not tweet it to us,
or at least make it
riot.
Red. Mm-hmm. There has to be some red in it.
Yeah, I agree. And again, this is another one where you have somebody like incorporating some of their own backstory into it. I mean, one of Adam's most recent jobs was working on the Universal Cool installment at Universal Osaka, which is Universal Japan. And so like he's literally recently been in Japan and spent a lot of time there. And not only that, like, that's such a part of who he is. Like, he loves all that kind of stuff. Like, I know personally, Adam really loves, like, Pokemon. So, you know, like, it's just nice to see this character, to me, has the same kind of joy put into it that we saw with Emily's makeup last week.
Yes. Exactly. And I love that because this adds the element of their personality. Adam is such a funny person.
Yes.
And this character is funny too. It has these comedic elements that they even mentioned. We love that they have this, that he created an actual character more so than just a look.
Exactly. And he stayed in character when they asked him about the makeup.
Yeah. Phenomenal. Mm-hmm. When he say, oh, it's very technical, you don't want to hear about it. And it's like, those are some garbage cans with some sauce pots on them. Yeah. Also, that's brilliant.
But I love it because I know how much he loves Japanese, animation. So in my brain, I was thinking this is an anime character. He literally just took it from paper and made it into a real person. And I think it's awesome.
I loved after he gets all of his awesome positive feedback because the judges were just eating it up and loving it.
Oh, it's amazing.
When Ray's leans over and he's like, good job, man. And he goes, thanks, Dad.
That was so good.
Like, all right, that's awesome.
I also loved that Todd McFarlane said specifically of all of the superheroes that he saw,
that if he could make an action figure,
this is the one he would want to bring home to his kid.
Yeah.
I completely agree. It was bringing me back to like Big Hero 6 kind of. Like the same mechanics is kind of the same way. And I was like, this is awesome.
And to have Todd McFarlane say that,
I know.
that has to be a huge just moment. So I hope that he watched this episode and just went, oh, yeah. And if he didn't, I did it for you just now.
Exactly.
So this one, brilliant.
I know.
I was so torn on who should have won this one.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I feel like this should have been just a dual victory because
they're both Team Race.
They are. And I feel like they could be a superhero duo. Why not have two winners?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they had a great moment in Last Looks, like a great bromance moment where they were like airbrushing each other. It was great.
All right.
I made that sound way more erotic than it actually was. It literally, they were actually.
I think it was the face that you had. You just made this dreamy-eyed, romantic, like, I'll paint your wings if you can fix this. We both look great. But you both look great. So
this took a really weird turn, guys.
Sorry, guys. That's nothing new for us,
Right?
So, Logan, who did win this week, I have to say, I think the reason we talked about this, I think the reason that this one won is because of all the detail and the actual makeup. My favorite element of this too is that he incorporated the wings that he made from cheesecloth and noodles. I'm
like they looked like pool noodles.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Both of these guys went, all right, here's some random garbage. Let me turn it into something more amazing than you've seen in a hot minute. So I just thought that was spectacular. They were able to really, and we were talking about this when they used the vacuum form press, use everything that's available to them. They took it to the nth degree.
They really
and
did.
said, all right, what can I make this? And how? And even with racing, don't bite off more than you can chew. Make sure that you really don't go too overboard. Logan was like, nah, man, I'm going overboard and I'm going to do it. It's going to be awesome. And
it was.
It was.
Yeah, I love that, like, I feel like Julian is this way too, but like Logan, like always just, Logan just does Logan and it always seems to work out for him. He has never been a bottom look.
This was his third challenge win.
I know.
When
Three
Emma told me
times.
that, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
He's on a roll.
He is just on it.
I know.
This look was so spectacular too. Just the whole, from the props to the overall look to the face, the details.
It totally was. And one of the things that both Neville and Todd McFarlane were saying about it was that, like, you could put this makeup 200 years in the past, you could put this makeup 3,000 years in the future, and you would believe it. It has this incredible, like, timelessness to it. It looks like a lizard man Ninja Turtle in an Assassin's Creed cape, and also like a dash of Arrow, and it's just so good.
I love it. It is, and it has that perfect logo. It has all of the elements that you need to really read as superhero.
Yeah.
To read as a superhero that you would care about enough to watch an entire movie based around this character.
Absolutely.
And this is one that I don't think would even just be the lead in a movie. I think the lead in a franchise.
Yeah.
That would just, I would see sequels of this.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to see more of this character.
I could absolutely see that. I can see this having a whole series. I could see this as a video game character. This would be an incredible video game character. Same thing with Adams. Either one of them, I think, could support an entire franchise's worth of stuff.
I would love to see the movie with the two of them together, with Logan's very serious and then Adam coming in and just like...
Maybe we should create a new superhero cinematic universe.
I like it.
The Odd Couple.
Yeah, well, no. These two
Face off a thing. It's like Gotham, but way more syllables.
I feel like it's like one of those things where like, these two characters would definitely not really normally be together, but like if they were all published by the same company or like, you know, movie studio or whatever, eventually their paths could cross and it would just be like a Laurel and Hardy, like, good time romp.
I can't with you guys.
Sometimes I just want to live in your brain and just look around.
Okay, so we're gonna be
glorious
this weird
place.
lore. It's gonna be great.
I love it. I do. I also loved with Logan when they come up to look at his makeup and he goes, "Please don't send me home."
That was amazing.
Died.
And when he was explaining this character to the judges, he also stayed totally in character and he did this like weird lizard man voice and it was
so weird.
And I just love it being named Slayer.
Yes.
Like the dragon human Slayer. And I feel like he would live in the Slayer layer.
Yes, the Slayer layer. Oh my god.
Aaron's just like, stop.
No. Lee, you need to get on that. I need a picture. I need a cave.
I know.
This is happening.
I love how we just ask our more talented fans to make the things that we come up with.
We
Like,
can't.
we can't do this, but if you did, we'd like it. So, this look, clear winner.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
If the judges had not picked this, I probably would have been
I would have been like, I'm
surprised.
done,
yeah,
guys.
unless they picked Adams, I'd be fine.
Yeah,
with
unless
that.
it was Adam. Both, I think, were pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
I liked Adam's a lot. I don't
Bottom
know.
looks.
Thanks, Aaron.
I just keep. It's just great look. That's all I
I
wanted to
think
say.
you know what I think it is. I think I like this look best, but I like Adam's character best.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it is.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the overall character that he's created, and the second that he talks and says anything as that character, I'm
Yeah.
like, say more things. I know you have more footage of this. Show it to us. But this is one that I could just visually stare at and find something new and unique throughout this look. And that's just, it's so, it's one that's almost hypnotic when you look at it, because
Yeah.
you just want to see all the details and all of the elements involved.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready for a fight scene. That's what I'm ready for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be great.
This versus Adam in a fight would be quite
So-
Crimson Wave. I keep saying Adam like he's just gonna come out there and punch Logan.
I mean,
Would also be interesting, and that would be a face-off first.
yes, it was. No words, guys.
It's cool. It's not like the show surrounds around those. That's fine.
Words. It's not like this is a podcast.
No, not a thing.
Bottom looks this week, though. We've already established one of them we disagree with. It should have been Darla, but I'm going to keep saying it because I
Yeah.
don't
No, like,
understand how
seriously.
that look was
Like,
safe.
that
When
was-
I'm looking at everything else that was
Yeah.
lined up, it almost feels insulting to the other looks.
I agree.
That
And
puts
it's
so much effort.
And it's like you're looking at Emily's, which was one of the looks that was bottom looks. And does it fit the superhero thing? Not really. Is it what she does all the time? Yeah, it was a big crazy wig, but the work on it was really nice. The paint job was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emily did this, we can see here, her nature's daughter look. And I did kind of like that it's based on her mom and like that element. And it's like, oh, that's sweet. And that's super. My mom is the superhero in my life. So I
Right.
do like that element. But she also didn't explain that because she didn't really realize that it didn't fit the look until last looks. And by then it's too late and all that's happened. And I've said it before on the show, the second you lose confidence, you've lost.
Exactly.
You've lost the challenge because
Yeah, because she was fumbling on her words when she was trying to
Yes.
explain the story. And I was like,
the way she was
"Oh,
standing,
girl."
I was like, you look smoking hot. Stand
does.
out
That's
there,
exactly what I
hands on
said.
hips,
Yeah.
get it. Even if it's not a look that fits the challenge, it's a look that looks good and you look good in it. Own it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like if they remade Batman, this would be the new Poison Ivy.
I didn't like
Personally.
that they said Marge Simpson as Poison Ivy.
I was like, that was
I was like,
rude.
that's a bit much, I think.
I don't think so.
I mean, granted, she did start with like this crazy yellow, like Marge Simpson wig that she like wrapped cheesecloth around
Yeah.
and then like stuck moss on it. It was cool. I love everything that Emily does with hair because I can't understand hair at all. Obviously, I have none. But
Your hair's nice. Shush.
I like it.
exactly.
I keep it fresh and stylish and short, but I can't style hair at all. So I'm always just blown away by everything that Emily does, and like the fact that this like moss topiary creation on her head started off as like a neon yellow wig to me is like crazy.
I think she's great at what she does. She knows hair. She owns it. But this challenge, if you saw a superhero, and when
Yeah.
you think of elements of superhero, it's like, I hate to say the Edna Mode, no capes, but it's like, look at all the elements
No
that
capes.
are, you've got the big hair, you've got the big kind of cape. If you were in battle, you are basically just saying, here are all my weak parts, attack me
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Grab me by the hair and watch me lose this fight.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
the only thing is when they were saying it looks like a topiary or some
Yeah.
sort of,
Yeah.
if it was like a foliage challenge, then yes, it would be phenomenal. But as a superhero, it doesn't read superhero.
I agree, but that being said, I understand sort of to a much greater degree what her idea was than what was going on with Darla's. Anyway,
Especially when V said that she was disappointed that she went the big hair route because at this point in the competition she shouldn't be repeating herself.
which, I'm sorry. What is
Which
Dar-
is
what's
that's
Darla
been our
doing for
only
weeks?
criticism
Bobbleheads.
is that
All
and I just
bobbleheads.
it doesn't make sense to me that one of the contestants gets feedback that is obviously so consistent with another contestant's work and that parallel is never drawn.
Yeah.
except for here on this show. But on the actual show, why is that not registering? It baffles me, and it's the one element that I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
It's more mysterious to me than why Mackenzie starts the show on a cliff top. I don't know why. And at least with that one, I don't know why, but I love it. Yeah. This one, I don't know why, and I'm just still going, but why?
You know what's also amazing to me about Emily is that we forget she's 18 years old.
That is also very
And she had her birthday on this episode.
Yeah.
Laura brought cupcakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
And me as a teenager, I was
not doing that.
no.
nowhere close to that. Like,
Nope.
I mean, even not to bring up the whole Marge here. I mean, Uma Thurman had what, Spice Girl knots in her hair?
She did.
Stop. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. But at the same time, like, I understand. But I mean, for an 18-year-old to pull off this, again, you are smoking hot in this outfit. So I understand. Yes, it doesn't look like a superhero, but at the same time, I feel like she's at least doing something a little bit more out of the box than what Darla's doing.
Agreed.
And it's just consistently good. Even though there's elements that are repeated, she does do the hair, but she does hair well. So
does.
it's one of those things that if
it
you
ain't
know that you're good at something, then yes, play to your strengths. In this situation, I agree with Glenn, and I think he said it perfectly when he said that this look is not appropriate for this challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, completely agree.
But it's still, and we've seen that countless times
Absolutely.
throughout the show where it's a great look that just doesn't fit the criteria that was given for the challenge. But this situation, I still feel like this reads more superhero, and if she had just lost the wig and toned down the hair, I think it would have been spot on.
Yeah, I mean, she could have just left like a red wig and kind of like flared it out instead of adding all of this extra stuff up top. I mean, yeah, it would have worked, but I feel like they still would have given her something because the fact that it's some sort of, you know,
Hair.
nature, hair creature thing.
I'm almost certain, like, if she even just left the wig and just put a mask, then they'd be okay with it.
Yeah, that's also very true.
And just going once again back to Darla, I just feel like just because the student does what the teacher asked doesn't mean they should pass the class.
that is very good
Wow.
advice.
Aaron.
Did you see that? He just dropped some knowledge.
What's true?
Now you can flip the tip.
Now everybody's on board.
Oh, my word.
But unfortunately, somebody does have to go home every single
Unfortunately,
week.
this week it was Stephanie. And Stephanie, I actually thought this looked like a superhero.
Me too.
I did understand why it went a little too vampire.
Yes.
And Stephanie has had a couple issues. This is not the first time that we've seen her kind of get lost at the beginning of the challenge and that affect the time that she has.
Yeah.
But I also feel like she's an artist that just watching her, that in a real world situation, you say, okay, give her this concept, give her a few days to come up with it. She will make something brilliant, knock it out of the park. And then when it comes time to actually apply it, she's spot on and can do everything very quickly.
Yeah, she's incredibly talented. And I think that, unfortunately, yes, there were problems with this makeup this week. One of the biggest problems was the presentation of it.
Yeah.
She needed to have a black and white background. Her idea behind this was that it was sort of a like Sin City kind of universe character that is a demon who protects humans, and because she's like part human, part demon. And it was supposed to be that like Sin City
Black and
cinematic,
white,
black
film
and white
noir.
with pops of red, film noir sort of universe.
Yeah.
And they gave her this colored background.
And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw her come out. I was like, okay, I'm not going to think about the background, but looking at her, I can see her as some sort of crazy assassin in like
But
Sin
here's
City.
the thing. If they had put a black and white background, it could have drowned her out
That's also
because
very true.
of the colors that are used in it. I do think that this look, while a little bit more vampire-esque, still fit the challenge better.
Yeah.
And if that's what it's being based off of, then I kind of am surprised that this one is the one that went home. V flat out said this makeup sucked, and I just couldn't believe that because
Yeah.
I was sitting here going, no, it didn't. And she said it looks like the makeup in The Lost Boys. It looks Kiefer Sutherland.
What?
You made that makeup, V. You're the one who designed that. So if that sucks, why? What?
yeah.
I don't understand. And I can say that I can understand somebody saying, I made this makeup in the 80s, and this is one that looks like that. This is something that we've seen before. But the thing is, we've seen it over and over again. because it's a look that works. It's a look that audiences recognize, and it's one that registers. Versus a masquerade doll.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Versus masquerade
it
Humpty
just
Dumpty.
doesn't make sense to me that was the one that went home. Stephanie, we love you. We think you're great. We think you should still be on the show.
Yeah. I thought that this was really good. So I'm really sad that ended up happening, but I'm going to keep more of my opinions to myself.
I'm always rooting for the girls, and I was sad that Stephanie, who was in terms of like just creating a superhero, kind of the most successful of all of the women, got sent home.
Yeah, I disagree completely with that one. I think that should have. I like how you're giggling at us as superheroes.
I saw your awesome star, and I was like,
My awesome side part.
Hey man, I love your side part. It's
amazing.
Awesome.
Aaron's been using some Thorial on that.
Oh, how long have you been sitting on that one? You've been waiting this whole time, I bet. That was brilliant.
It was worth the wait.
I can't take credit for that. I got it from Tumblr.
Aw, well, I still love it. I also love hearing from all of our amazing fans and all of our listeners. We had some great feedback. Lots of people wishing Emma happy birthday, which
Thank you. I felt very loved.
And we love that you were here on your birthday.
I know.
Yeah. Sweet. So we had Samantha Pruitt, who said that she thought this was a great show. We've seen the process of how they make the creations a whole bunch, but she agreed with me. That was me, Samantha. She was like, I don't remember who said it. It was me. I'll take credit. That we should see more of the contestants and more of their interactions. And I agree. I think that, well, obviously I said it. So I love that she agrees to, and hopefully Face Off will take that note and we can see more of the actual artists behind the look. This one, I thought this challenge really stepped it up and we got to see a little bit more of that. Hopefully you agree too, Samantha. Luke Livermore always says nice things about us, so we love him. So shout out to Luke. And Dominic Harms, also, we're shouting out to you because after we did last time, you said, OMG, I love you, and we love you. So there you go. And we had Maelstrom and then a whole bunch of numbers. It is a lot of numbers. Your name is very long. But it said, love your show, guys. Listening to your analysis of the makeup. So just want to be with you and join in on the conversation. We want you to join in the conversation to everyone. You can do so by tweeting us using that hashtag ABTVFaceoff. And I have to say, the one other little detail that he said was he thinks there should be a Dragon Ball Z episode.
Yes.
We all agree with that.
Yes.
We all agree with that.
Guys, if only Face Off would like consult us about like what their different challenges should be, and also who should win every week, I think it'd be a much better show.
Yeah.
Me too.
We're basically geniuses, and we're also incredibly modest. So, just saying. Once again, we absolutely love hearing from you guys. So please, if you haven't done so already, check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe, youtube.com/AFTERBUZZ TV. Leave us some comments. We'll read them out on the show. Give a little shout out. Also, check us out on iTunes and on SoundCloud. We have hundreds of shows, so something for everybody. And be sure to tweet us, again, using that hashtag ABTVFaceoff. Once again, you can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan and on Instagram at that Alana Jordan girl.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at AAMOmusic or on Instagram _AAMOmusic.
And you can find me on Twitter at Emma Fyffe. You can also find me on Instagram at Emma Fyffe. I'm Emma Fyffe everywhere Emma Fyffes are found.
And you can find me through all the social medias at ATorres890. You can also find me on YouTube because I'll be vlogging more now every other day, and you'll definitely get to see a little behind the scenes of us messing around. Well, okay, that sounded kind of dirty, but
terrifying.
You know what I mean. You can find it on YouTube at PS890.
Awesome, and you can find us here next week. Hopefully you guys will tune in and send us some new stuff. We love you. See you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.